All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our member spotlight. And this week we have Gabi Kotovsky, who's going to be joining us and sharing a perspective about how she's been doing during all of this craziness of COVID and the pandemic. But first, Gabi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, can't complain. The humidity's gone, so now it's nice to sort of sit outside and be outside. So that's kind of a nice thing. Feels like fall is here. So that's always fun for me. Um, so I kind of just want to give you an opportunity just to sort of share a little bit about yourself, who you are, how you're involved in at the temple, like what you do. I know you're on our board for USY, and so kind of how long have you been involved with the youth stuff at Temple of Aaron? And just tell people a little bit about yourself, maybe something that they might not know, maybe any skills or hobbies that
Okay.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Gabby. I am going into 10th grade and I am one of the co-vice presidents on our board. I've been involved with USY since I was in 6th grade actually, because I got the opportunity to be in the annual play with my sister. And from there, I just fell in love with it and I decided to keep going. Something you might not know about me is I have been figure skating for 11 years, although most people do know that because I do bring it up quite often. um,
Why figure skating?
yeah. Um, well, actually, my sister did it when she was younger, and my mom just brought me with her to open skate because I was like 3 years old, and I really enjoyed it. They sent me up for lessons, and I just fell in love with the sport.
Wow, that's amazing. So my stepdaughter, who's a little bit older, she used to compete in figure skating as well, and so I've got to hear from her sort of what that's like. And it's a very grueling schedule. It sounds like
Yes,
early ice times. You're very committed to do that. What's the earliest you've
yes.
had to get to skate?
Um, Personally, I don't like skating in the morning because I just cannot wake up that early. But I have before, and I went in at 6:30, I believe, right before school. So it
Yeah,
does wake you up though once you're on there.
definitely between the workout and the temperature of where
Yeah.
you are. It's very much. I had friends who swam in college, and it's like sort of a similar sort of commitment. Like early,
Yeah.
it's for you, it's the cold. For them, it's sort of the humidity of being in a pool in the indoor pool that early. So no, that's really fascinating. 11 years. It's very very long time to be with a
Yes.
sport. Um, so obviously, COVID has changed people's lives, but I think one area that we don't think about so much is how it might have changed, the youth and for teens especially. People plan on going to summer camp. You had to switch all of a sudden to doing virtual learning, and I'm not sure what you're doing for learning this coming year. But in terms of virtual hybrid, not sure. But like, just curious what it's been like that. Maybe people haven't thought about the impact of this on a teenager, and anything you wanted to share.
Um, I'd say it's been more challenging and also less freedom to do stuff like you would do, like going to Valley Fair or the State Fair, going to like there's Highland Fest, and just hanging out with your friends and going out and having fun all summer. It's been more limited. Um, and of course, we had to do distance learning for the last few months of school, which was a little bit easier, but also a little bit harder to learn. But teachers did a great job and they were much more flexible with it. And yeah, overall, it's been challenging, but at the same time, a really great learning experience.
What would be the one activity or one thing that you've missed the most due to all of this?
Well, I had to take I think it was a 5 month break, 4 months from figure skating. So that was very difficult for me because that's the longest I've been away from it in quite some time. Um, and also just being stuck at home for a long time was very challenging and not being able to see anybody. So
Right. Yeah, no, that's gotta be tough. And I'm sure, how are things going for USY? I mean, this is also, I was in USY, I was in EMSA also when I was growing up. And, so much of it is been about, even on a easy sort of program like a lounge night, you're still with people and you're still hanging out and you're physically there, no matter what. It's a very elaborate program or a really simple one. And so I'm curious what, as a co-VP, what is USY maybe going to look like this coming year, and what's EMSA been trying to do to help with this process?
So, I don't know if you guys know, but our last convention got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was online over Zoom, which was challenging, but also it was so fun. And EMSA, I think they did a fantastic job handling all of it and made it the best that it could be, being online rather than in person, unfortunately. This year, we're also having conventions online at least until the end of 2020, and then we'll see from there because nobody can really tell. But we have been planning really fun stuff, and our board has been planning really fun events for this upcoming year, and we're very excited to go forward with it.
That's great. I mean, and what you guys are doing and trying to be so creative and innovative and thinking of different ways of connecting people, whether that be, traditionally, like, I think it also allows more people to sort of join in, right? Like that's the one joy with Zoom is that, like, okay, you can come in and it doesn't necessarily require a trip or a plane ride or a drive for a convention, which was always interesting. And Denver was still in our region when I was in USY. My first keynotes, we flew to Denver, which was over Thanksgiving, which was not the best time to necessarily be in Denver. But I think it allows opportunities for people now, which is really kind of great with USY and what they're trying to do. So we've all probably binge watched more than we need to on Netflix or Hulu, depending on which platform you prefer. We've also probably all maybe bought a little more than we usually would, or maybe we just do more Amazon shopping. So I'm curious, what's something, a movie, a TV show that you've maybe binge watched and might recommend or not recommend? And what's sort of the wackiest or coolest thing that was a COVID purchase during this time?
So I am a pro binger now. I'm very good at it. So Umbrella Academy, I don't know if you've heard of it, but season 2 came out, and I had never seen season 1. And so I finished season 1 and season 2 in 2 days, which I thought was very impressive. I have watched most of Netflix.
There you go.
I'm currently watching Criminal Minds, which is the best. I absolutely adore it. What else? I've seen a lot of shows. I purchased both Mamma Mia movies on CD, and that is my all-time favorite, and I saw it 5 times in the same week. So that was, my parents were not happy with it because they were very sick of it, but I love it.
Yeah.
And purchase-wise, I don't know if it's crazy, but I did purchase a pack of 40 vinyl records that don't have a certain music on them or anything, and I started painting them. And I got really into it. I finished one last night, actually. It looks like this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and they're all over my wall, and I just have been really into it. And my creative side has definitely come out, and so lots of my Amazon purchases have been paints and paintbrushes and canvases and all that.
Well, that's great. And like, as I said, and, some of us develop new hobbies during this time. And so painting, it seems, has been one of yours, it sounds like, for myself, it's not a hobby, it's just a time filler, I used to play video games a lot growing up. And I still do somewhat here and there, but at the beginning of this, I was finding it a way to play a lot of like Nintendo Switch and a lot of Xbox. And I even think Michael tried to find me on Xbox to play sometime, which is great and really fun and interesting. And another way to connect, there's actually a Jewish esports league that I've connected to for teens. So I think I'll probably be talking to you all about that at another time as another way to reach and connect to people. But yeah, that's awesome. Any other hobby that you've found, or any other creative outlet?
I did start to cook a lot more, and I've always loved cooking, but I definitely really went into it. I'm really obsessed with decorating my room, and it changes quite often. So that's been something that's also on the creative side, but yeah, let's see, anything else? Watching TV, I don't know if that's a hobby or not, but that definitely came out more than it should have, I think. Um,
Oh,
yeah, I think that's really it.
that's great. Yeah, I was gonna say your room looks very put together and definitely way more organized and thought out than my room looked like as of entering my sophomore year of high school. Um, but yeah, no, and that's really great, and that's sort of it. You know, I think the creative side of people is coming out a lot more during this. I know for Ari is only 4.5, but she's been very much into making bracelets and necklaces and rings with all these beads that we bought. Uh,
Yes, I also purchased a whole pack of beads, and
yeah, yeah,
which
we
is
even got
fun.
the I can't remember. You take the iron and you put the iron on it. And you can make designs out
Pearl
of it.
beads.
Pearl beads, yes.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that, and so like we have fun ones that like look like superheroes or My Little Pony, and so she has a little My Little Pony one that she put on a necklace and she can wear. So it's been fun, you know. But and now that she's been able to go back to school, she's actually now able to accessorize as she goes to school. So she's learning a new skill and hobby on herself. Well, great. Well, Gabby, thank you so much for taking some time and for sharing with who you are and how you've been doing during all of this. And hopefully for everyone else out there watching this, that on YouTube or on our Facebook page, they'll also sort of check in on the teens that they might know and see how they're going, because we're all going through this, and it's I think important for us to see how everybody's kind of reacting and doing. So, Gabby, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All righty. Bye, everyone.
Bye.